What's up, guys? It is me, Isaiah Hart, aka Isaiah MMA. We are back, and we are doing UFC 324 picks and predictions. This is gonna be a good one. I've never been this excited for a UFC event in my life. Like since UFC 309, I was really excited to see John Jones fight for the first time I ever seen him fight, and I was excited for the Michael Chandler and Charles Oliveira fight. But this card is epic. Even given that Harrison Nunez got canceled, it is still an epic card. I can't wait for the main event. I can't wait for Sean O'Malley versus Hong Yadong. Umar Nurmagomedov is going to be at the card. This is going to be a good video, so let's go. First, we're going to go over the first fight on the main card. It's Arnold Allen versus Jean Lord Silva. And here are Jean Silva's keys to victory. As soon as the fight begins, I want Jean Silva to stay on the pressure. You want to attack Arnold Allen because in Arnold Allen's last fight against Gika Chikazi, I don't know how to say his name, okay? In his last fight against that dude at UFC 304, he was really calm off the start, and it was a very slow round one. John Silver is known for having reckless fights, like dominant round ones. In this fight against Diego Lopez, they went at it in round one. John Silva definitely lost the first round, but it was still a dogfight, and he's had dogfights in the first round with Bryce Mitchell, Diego Lopez, and he caught Diego Lopez early. I can't even lie to you. So there's still some danger there. He does need to fight aggressively, in my opinion, because Arnold Allen is looking to outbox you. He is looking to stay on the lateral movement, looking to counter you. And if you are John Silva, you do want to seek the finish in the first round, and you do not want to fight. You want to fight aggressively, but you do not want to fight emotionally. We saw John Silva fight emotionally against Diego Lopez, and that did not end up well for him. He got caught with a spinning elbow. That was pretty bad. And again, if you're Gene Silva, you do want to break his guard and then hurt him early, because Arnold Allen will stay far away from you and try to pick you apart rather than, go in for the attack. But there are times in Arnold Allen fights where he will just like randomly try to go after you. We've seen this in the fight he had with Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker had him on the pressure. He was keeping him on the fence. And then Arnold Allen just came out of nowhere with these hooks, and it did rock Dan Hooker. I don't know if I finished the fight, if I'm being honest, but I did see that. But it rocked Dan Hooker, and Gene Silva needs to be aware of that, because if he starts the fight emotionally and then gets caught, with those hooks like Dan Hooker did, that might be a big problem going in this fight. Now, Arnold Allen's key to victories. He needs to survive the first round. Gene Silva is very aggressive in the first round, and your attempt would be to gas him out, just like Diego Lopez did a little bit. He didn't really gas him out. He just took him down and started letting big elbows. He cut his head open. Yeah, so you do want to try to gas him out, but you ultimately want to survive the first round, even if it means you lost it 10-9, because you want a tired Gene Silva. You do not want a fully aggressive Gene Silva coming at you. Now, what I will say is that I believe Gene Silva, I don't know how to say his name, John, I'm going to say John Silva, I believe he learned from his mistakes in the first fight. I really do. I mean, in this fight with Diego Lopez, I believe he learned from his mistakes. You know what I mean? When you lose, it really does something to you. He does not like losing. He was crying after the fight. He hit Diego Lopez in the back of the head after the fight. But when you lose, it does something to you. And I think he's more locked in now than ever. I really do. Especially when you fight like that, you tend to come back a little more calm, especially after getting knocked out. You want to come back a little more calm, and that might be a good thing for Arnold Allen, the fact that he's coming off of a loss. Yeah, John Silva's coming off the loss. Arnold Allen's coming off from a win. That's a good day for Arnold Allen in this first round, because I do believe John Silva will not fight as recklessly and emotionally like he was against Diego Lopez. Excuse me, Bryce Mitchell. And I truly do think that John Silva will come out sooner or later in the fight and start fighting a little more aggressive. But John Silva needs to stay disciplined. Now, what I'm saying right here, with the constant lateral movement, he does need to utilize his jab and exit on the ankles. Arnold now has a very good jab, and I believe he has the reach advantage. Yeah, he has a 1-inch reach advantage, but that doesn't really matter. Gene Silva is looking to to counter you a lot of the times. He will look for a counter and hurt you early. And he hurt Diego Lopez pretty bad. Like, he almost need. But yeah, Arnold Allen, he needs to stay on his jab like this. Like, he just needs to keep going because he will get hit with counters. It's just a matter of when. He does need to utilize his jab and then exit on an angle so he is less prone to getting hit with a counter. And if he gets hit with a counter, that is grave danger because Jean Silva has a lot of power and he can hurt you bad. Now, right here, I did say clinch when John Silva overextends because John Silva overextended in the fight against Diego Lopez, and Diego Lopez took him down, dominated the rest of the round. That was great from Diego Lopez, and if anything, you want to be the example. Like, I want to fight like Diego Lopez because he did exactly what everybody else wouldn't have done. I mean, John Silva overextended, I believe, with a left hand. I don't know if it was left hand. And then John Silva ended up like turning his back a little bit. Diego Lopez capitalized perfectly, took him down. And that was just great. And he dominated the rest of the round because of that. If Arnold Allen does this, which he's not a wrestler at all, so he's definitely just a kickboxer, but Arnold Allen is going to have to resort to some sort of wrestling because you're not going to win the stand-up with John Silva, if I'm being honest. You're not going to win the stand-up. John Silva is way too good. I believe he's younger than Arnold Allen. I don't know. Arnold Allen's only 31. John Silva is then, yeah. And what I said is mix in some trips in the clinch if you do clinch. Do not shoot from far away because you're prone to uppercuts or you're prone to knees. You don't want to get hit with anything. You want to be as safe as possible. In this case, you do want to be a defensive grappler rather than an offensive grappler. You want to clinch and trips and find trips and takedowns when the opportunity is presented to you and when you have the chance to. And right here is pretty self-explanatory. Do not match his energy. Do not match his energy whatsoever. You will get knocked out. Now, my official prediction for this fight is Jean Silva, money line, okay? You put $10 on him, you get $15. On DraftKings. DraftKings does pay you a lot more than FanDuel and other stuff. And for the feeling lucky category, I said Jean Silva by knockout or technical knockout, and $20 will win you $56 on DraftKings. That's a pretty good deal, and that's pretty high chances. I do believe John Silva's going to knock him out sooner or later. I don't believe Arnold Allen has good enough wrestling or jiu-jitsu to really capitalize on moments where he overextends. Diego Lopez is just a really good fighter. That's the truth. And he was able to capitalize perfectly. Now, for the second fight, we have Derek Lewis versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. Derek Lewis here has to knock him out. I believe so. I believe he has to knock him out. He's about 9 years older than... He's about 4 years older. I'm sorry, I said 9. He's about 4 years older than Waldo Cortez Acosta. And Derek Lewis is 40. And he's a heavyweight. I do believe heavyweights can fight more, can fight better into their 40s rather than any other weight class, because in heavyweight you don't rely on speed as much as you do in like featherweight and bantamweight and lightweight. You're not relying as much on counters and movements. So what I do believe here in this fight, in round 1, you need to be violent. You need to chase the finish. What I would tell him is that I want you to throw bursts. I want you to throw good combos, calculated combos. I don't want you to just throw anything in hopes for a knockdown, because that might not happen. I'm pretty sure Waldo Cortez is close to has had a great game plan, a great camp leading up to this fight, and I do believe Derek Lewis does have to be violent in round 1. Violent to the extent of being calculated with big shots, because you will want to knock him out. He can't fight scared. He definitely does have to accept the risk of possibly being outworked by a younger, possibly more fresh fighter. And Derek Lewis is more experienced, but we have to put in account that we've seen him fight. These two have really similar styles, in my opinion. We've seen Derek Lewis fight a lot. I don't see this fight going to the ground at all. We've seen Derek Lewis fight, and he's pretty aggressive in the first round. he was aggressive against Francis Ngannou, obviously. But in his fight against Talison Texeira, he knocked him out in the first round, which to his credit, Talison Texeira is a up-and-coming 26-year-old, I think he was 25 at the time, heavyweight. And he's really young, he's really sharp. I do see him being possibly a champion in the future. Not if Gable Stevens at the run. But I do see him being very good in the future. I do see him being very good in the future, and he did very exceptional against Talison Texeira. Not even exceptional. We've knocked him out in the first round, bro. That says something. Um, I do think he does need to use feint to set up a kill shot. That is going to be what you want to rely on. Use your left hand feints to set up that right hand. Boom, and that's definitely what you want to do if you're Derek Lewis, because if I'm being completely honest, I don't see a 40-year-old Derek Lewis winning decision. I don't see that happening. They're both coming off of wins. Derek Lewis has the reach advantage. They have the same leg reach. Waddle Cortez Acosta is the taller man. But this is going to be a good fight regardless. But I do think Derek Lewis has to put pressure. He has to put pressure on the gas because he's I don't believe he would win a decision. Waddle Cortez Acosta. There is no margin for error in the first round. Derek Lewis is one of the heaviest, if not the heaviest puncher of all time. Him, Francis Ngannou, some other guy. He's a really hard puncher, and even at his age of 40, he's still going to be strong as I don't know what. Okay, so if you're Waddle Cortez Acosta, you need to be very smart and very calculated. You might want to play up the jab. You might want to, find some counters, because you do not want to be in a position where you get clipped by Derek Lewis. That's grave danger. His power is extraordinary. His power is very extraordinary. You know what I mean? So, like I said, make him tired right here. Maybe you want to stay off the gas for the first 2 minutes. 2 minutes of the first round. You might want to stay off the gas. Let him throw as much as he wants. I don't think he's going to fight extremely reckless, but I do think he's going to be more gassed than Waddle Cortez Acosta if he does attempt to make him tired. So, Waddle Cortez Acosta is just staying there. He's just seeing Derek Lewis throw all sorts of punches. You know what I mean? And he's staying there for the first 2 minutes. And then, when past 2 minutes, I think Waddle Cortez Acosta should start, jab, exit, angles. You want to look for some counters as well. I don't know if Waddle Cortez Acosta is going to knock him out, but in this scenario, your goal should be to outpace him rather than to knock him out. Because if you're trying to knock him out, that is almost 100% implying that you're going to exchange with him in the pocket, and you will get knocked out if you try to exchange with Derek Lewis in the pocket. Talison Texeira just had that happen to him. You're going to have that happen to you if you try to exchange in the pocket. Here's my official pick for this fight. I have Waddle Cortez Acosta winning by decision. And my feeling lucky category, Derek Lewis by knockout or TKO. This might not make sense to you, right? I have Waddle Cortez Acosta winning here because I think he's younger, he's more fluent, he's more active. As if I'm like, I don't know, but he's younger and he's more fluent, I believe, and he's up and coming, and I believe he can win by decision if he just stays off. If he just outpaces him. That's really what you want to do. It's a 40-year-old Derek Lewis who's been in the game for a while. You want to outpace him. You don't want to go for the knockout because you might get clipped. Now, the reason I have these two coming here is because I think I just think that Derek Lewis can definitely knock this guy out, but I think the game plan that Waddle Cortez Acosta has is easier than Derek Lewis just knocking him out. I think Waddle being able to just stay away from the knockout is just to defend himself is easier than Derek Lewis knocking him out. That is easier. So that's why I said Waddle Cortez Acosta by decision. And if you are feeling lucky, I would put $10 or $20 on Derek Lewis by knockout or TKO. It pays $40 on DraftKings for $10. It's pretty good. It's not, anything crazy, but it's pretty good. And on to the next fight, which will be Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong. This fight's going to be really good, and I'm excited to see how this plays out. Sean O'Malley is coming off a loss against Merab Dvalishvili. Song Yadong is coming off of a win against Henry Cejudo, I believe. Sean O'Malley, the taller opponent by 3 inches, he has the reach advantage, and he has the leg reach advantage. So physically, he does have this. Physically, he has this fight. Again, first tip, I took this from DC. Remember who you are, bro. Remember who you are. Just because you're coming off of 2 losses against the bantamweight GOAT does not mean essentially that you are bad. People are going to try to get in your head as much as they want. He lost twice in a row. He got an undeserved title shot. It was undeserved. He was a champion. You have the champions rematch clause. I don't believe in undeserved rematches. I mean, undeserved title fights, especially if they're rematches. But again, everybody's going to try to get in his head and tell him that he's not as good as he really is. I think Sean O'Malley is way better than everyone thinks he is, and he's really underrated because he lost twice in a row to the bantamweight GOAT. I did see some improvements in the second fight against Merab Dvalishvili. I saw some real improvements, especially in the striking range, because he was doing good on the feet. And I don't believe Merab was completely beating him up and then finishing him. But, towards the end, it was getting bad. But it just feels like Sean put up a little bit of a better fight. Even though he got submitted. Technically, he got submitted. He got finished in the second fight. But what I'm saying is that Sean O'Malley is better than what people are saying. He lost the bantamweight GOAT. That's okay. But you got to come back and show everybody who you really are. You got to show everybody you're Sean O'Malley, the guy who came off with Dana White Contender Series, the guy who knocked out Aljamain Sterling at UFC 292. You got to show them that's who you are. And this fight is something to prove yourself. I believe with a dominant win or knockout in the first 2 rounds against Song Yadong, I believe that he should be considered for a title shot. I don't care as much people would want to say he doesn't deserve it. It's not we got to realize this, MMA fans. It's not our job to look at, oh, this guy's a title shot. Why does he have it? It's not about who deserves it or who doesn't deserve it, bro. It's about we're fans. We're watching. It's our job to analyze the fights, bro. Analyze the fights like I'm doing. I don't care. I think he should get a title shot with a very dominant win. I'm not saying just a close decision, a boring decision. No, a split decision. No, I think that Sean O'Malley with a dominant win over Song Yadong should get a title shot at Peter Yan. I don't think it's going to be at the White House because I think Merab might get that at the White House or earlier, but Merab's definitely not for the title. But if Sean O'Malley does go out here against Song Yadong and knocks him out in 1 round, I do believe he could be in graces for the title shot. And you can say what you want, but I believe that's the case. Remember who you are, man. You're still the same guy, if not better, who knocked out Aljamain Sterling. You know what I mean? You're still the same guy that beat Peter Yan, like, convincingly, in my opinion, if you watch the fight. You're still the same guy. You gotta remember who you are. You are Sean O'Malley. My second tip I gave for Sean O'Malley is control distance like a sniper, especially in round 1. Song Yadong has a dangerous right hand. He does have a lot of power. You can just tell by his build. He's pretty stocky. He has power in his arms. You have to use your long arm, Sean, and control your distance. Utilize the teep, the long jab, the calf kicks, target his lead leg. Watch out for his right hand. Not hearing shit, man. It's too bad. Watch out for his right hand, like I said. You know what I mean? You do, in some circumstances, you do want to try to go for him. You want to try to crack him at least once, boss. You still want to try to crack him, but and ultimately you do want to control distance very well. And if you do control distance good enough, you might see a counter opportunity and get him out of here, just like you did with Aljo. You do want to watch out for his right hand because he does have a lot of power. Now, with that being said, the most important one here, the most 2 important ones is definitely to control distance. Don't unnecessarily trade shots as well. I'd even say do not unnecessarily trade shots because you might get knocked out. Sean O'Malley does have a channel. I think he's ever been knocked out, but yeah. So don't unnecessarily trade shots at all. And the most important here, I would say, is utilize your teep to the body, your long jab, and your low calf kick, so you can tear them down part by part and maybe get the late finish. I believe this is still 3 rounds in the 3rd round. Now my official decision. Oh wait, where's Sean? Sean getting up. If you're Sean, you want to try your best to box in the pocket. If you can get there, because Sean O'Malley's going to be hard to catch, and Song Yadong's not really that much of a grappler. Sean O'Malley's really going to be hard to catch to get in the pocket. When Sean O'Malley is trying to snipe Song Yadong, it's going to be hard to just get him in the pocket. Song Yadong does need to stay patient and wait for opportunities to knock him out. He will want to target his lead legless kicks as well. That will break him down somewhat, because Sean O'Malley is really good at controlling distance, but when he comes in, a leg kick placed perfectly at the perfect time will pay dividends. Boxing in the pocket will also pay dividends. Because he has knockout power. He can't knock him out. I just don't think that will happen. And here is my official prediction for this fight. Sean O'Malley money line. And if you're feeling lucky, Sean O'Malley by knockout or TKO, $10 wins $37.50. The reason I picked this is just because Sean O'Malley has enough tools to beat him. He's a higher ranked guy. You know what I mean? He's had better value fights. He's had better quality fights. He can very well control that, control distance. He can control distance like a sniper. That teep, that jab to the body. He even has good jiu-jitsu. Like, people don't know, Sean O'Malley has great jiu-jitsu, like very good jiu-jitsu, and he just doesn't use it in his fights. And I think it would be good. It would be better for him if he did start to use it in his fights. Sean O'Malley, I do believe he's going to pick him apart. I think possibly a finish it later, like in third round. If a finish does happen, I do believe it's going to happen in the third round. But I think for majority of the fight, 30-27 Sean O'Malley, he's going to pick him apart, use his distance very well. And like I said, feeling lucky, Sean O'Malley by KO or TKO, which I think if it were to happen, it would happen in round 3. Or I don't know if this is going to be 5 rounds because, Amanda Nunes and Kayla, I can't do it, but whatever. Next fight. The main event of the evening, Paddy the Baddy Pimblett versus Justin the Highlight Gaethje. I cannot express to you enough how excited I am for this matchup. I am so excited to see these two go at it. And this is a very good fight. This is a very good fight, man. Justin Gaethje has the disadvantage in the reach. Paddy Pimblett has 3 inches on him in the reach, which is not that much. Justin Gaethje is the bigger man, taller, same leg reach. But you know what? I think this Paddy Pimblett, he has to use kicks to have safer entries. That's really, because I was gonna say something else, but I don't want to say that. He does need to use kicks to have safer entries, and possibly even just like try to close the distance. But the way Paddy Pimblett closes the distance is not okay whatsoever. He needs to change that ASAP because he will get knocked out. Justin Gaethje's knockout power is extraordinary. Habib has said it, Charles Oliveira has said it, Justin Poirier has said it. Everybody who has said it has said Justin Gaethje has extraordinary knockout power. Justin Gaethje is the only fighter to flatline Justin Poirier like that, other than Michael Johnson. And that's pretty much it. Conor McGregor knocked him out, but he didn't knock him out like what's his name did, like Justin Gaethje did. But yeah. So if you're Paddy Pimblett, do not exchange with him. Paddy Pimblett has terrible boxing. Don't exchange with him. What you want to do is be a defensive grappler, like I always say Paddy Pimblett is. He is a defensive grappler. What you want to do is probably try to get Justin Gaethje in the clinch on the fence, not in open land. You do want to get him on the fence. Look for some trips in there. Look for some takedowns. I don't think Paddy Pimblett should shoot in the open. I don't think so. That's going to be bad for Paddy Pimblett. Because Justin Gaethje has a mean uppercut. And it's not even an uppercut. We can look, not even the uppercut. Justin Gaethje has crazy takedown defense. Like, his takedown defense is really good. And a lot of people don't anticipate that. Yeah, he has great takedown defense. He just doesn't utilize his wrestling. Like, it's crazy. This dude's an NCAA All-American wrestler, and he doesn't really utilize it like that. Like I'm saying, Paddy Pimblett, don't get trigger happy as well. This is the biggest thing. Do not get trigger happy. You need to be more disciplined because your boxing sucks, bro. You know what I mean? You got to be here. You got to have your chin down the whole fight because you will get cracked. Don't get trigger happy like you did with Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler has knockout power, but he just doesn't have the fight IQ to add to that, okay? If you are Paddy Pimblett, you can do the thing where you like seem to hurt your opponent. You hit him with a shot, and you start running at him. He does that a lot, and he usually follows that when he runs at him. He usually follows it with like a teep, like a flying teep or something like that. That's just what he does. I don't know why. I think you know what I'm talking about as well. He just like starts running at his opponent, throwing flying teep. You can't do that against Justin Gaethje because you can't get cracked more than twice. Paddy Pimblett has a chin. He's never been dropped. I don't think. You just can't get hit with the strikes against Justin Gaethje, right? You can't get hit with the strikes that you were getting hit with against Jared Gordon because you will go to sleep. Like I said, my goal for Paddy is do not shoot in the open because it probably will get stuffed. Your goal will want to be to clinch with him and to get him up the cage, get your trips, your inside trips, maybe even drop levels in the clinch. You know what I mean? Because if you shoot in the open, Justin Gaethje's probably going to stop it because his great takedown defense. And here are the keys to victory for Justin Gaethje. Look at this. Look at this. I added these from his fight with Michael Chandler. He cannot fight like this. Paddy, you cannot fight like this. Not against Justin Gaethje. Do you see the way Paddy Pimblett boxes? This is terrible. This is like beginner level fundamentals. You can't throw a body jab like this. You can't throw a jab in the body like this. When you're boxing, we're here. You know what I mean? We're throwing jabs body. We're staying level with our shoulders. And we're also keeping our hands up, bro. You can do this on Chandler all you want, but Justin Gaethje is not Chandler. I also look at the takedown defense. We're looking at a 68% takedown defense against a 28% takedown accuracy. And Paddy Pimblett's never been the offensive grappler type. Okay? If you are Justin Gaethje, you have to capitalize on this is very bad, ugly boxing, okay? No hate to Paddy Pimblett, but your boxing is very bad. You cannot punch like that against Justin Gaethje. Imagine this is Justin Gaethje right here. And Paddy Pimblett is just throwing punches at him, his chin's up. Justin Gaethje comes up with that uppercut that he landed against Rafael Fiziev. Bang! He's going down. He will go down. He has his chin up in the air way too high. He is a reckless boxer. Just look at that. That is so ugly. What you're throwing a jab. What is putting your hand out here do for you? It doesn't do anything. You gotta stay here when you're throwing a jab to this body, especially. Okay? Now, your keys to victory, Justin Gaethje. You want to kill his lead leg with kicks. He has never. Paddy Pimblett's resume is not good. It's not good. He didn't deserve the win against Jared Gordon. He fought Tony Ferguson, who was on an 8-fight losing streak. He fought and then Bobby Green. It's Bobby Green, good win, I guess. He came off. Bobby Green was coming off a win against Jim Miller, good win, I guess. And then he fought Michael Chandler, who has won twice in the UFC. Lost to literally everybody. Lost to Charles Oliveira twice. Lost to Dustin Poirier. Lost to Justin Gaethje. He lost to everybody, and he was on a losing streak when he fought. I think it was like a 4 or 5 fight losing streak. Justin Gaethje needs to capitalize. If he loses to Paddy, this is a very bad look. Paddy Pimblett does not have a good run. I don't even think he deserves this. And like I said, we're not the ones to look at title shots and pick him out. Like, he doesn't deserve this, he doesn't deserve that. He got the title shot, so be it. We're gonna have to deal with it, okay? But the thing I'm just saying is, Paddy Pimblett is not experienced enough yet. I think he's 31. Dude, he's still like, it's just terrible boxing, man. I really hope he worked on that, man, because that's ugly. And if you have yes men at your team, that's terrible. And what you want to do is pressure Paddy Pimblett without chasing him. The last thing you want to do is end up like you were in your Charles Oliveira fight, Justin, where you were beating him up, you knocked him down 3 times, and then you got knocked out. Well, you didn't get knocked out, you got knocked down, because we were so tired. Like, you could visibly tell Justin Gaethje was getting really tired in the first round. That's not okay. You can't get too trigger happy. You can't get too overzealous. You will get picked apart, right? I don't think Paddy Pimblett has the tools to knock out Justin Gaethje, but you will get picked apart if you play this too aggressively. If you get overzealous early, you're going to get tired and you might get picked apart, just like Chandler did. You might. Now, you want to live in the pocket if you are Justin Gaethje. Because if he lives in the pocket, in the center is where Justin wants to be. You don't want to be on the fence. You wouldn't even be near the fence, because quite frankly, Paddy Pimblett's grappling is overrated in my opinion. I don't think it's as good as people are saying. Now, I think Paddy Pimblett, his grappling is not as good as people say. I see this pattern, right, where we saw the fight with Hamza Chimaev in DDP. We saw it in Rodriguez Duplessis. We saw everybody talking about Hamzat's cardio like that was going to be the deciding factor in the fight. DDP might gas him out in the later rounds. This might be why he's going to lose. DDP lost 50-44. Lost 50-44. The cardio didn't play a single factor whatsoever. And everybody was talking about Hamzat's cardio like that was going to be a decided factor when it didn't decide anything. It was completely different than the fight whatsoever. And I've seen the same pattern here. I think this is what's going to be. Everybody's talking about Paddy Pimblett's grappling like, well, if Justin Gaethje can't deal with grappling, he's just going to get submitted. No. It's not as easy as that. He's not a Dagestan level he's not a wrestler. He's a grappler. I feel like those are two different things. When you're a grappler, you can either grapple offensively or defensively. When you are a wrestler, you're usually grappling offensively. You are shooting for takedowns. Paddy Pimblett, there's maybe been like 2 times in Paddy Pimblett's career where we've been like, oh, Paddy Pimblett, that was a nice slick takedown from Paddy Pimblett. It's like twice in his career, if that. You know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say here is that Paddy Pimblett's grappling is definitely good, but Justin Gaethje has amazing takedown defense to deal with that. He just has to stay in the center, and his fight is his, in my opinion. Paddy Pimblett's not going to knock him out. His boxing is way too terrible. Justin Gaethje is one of the best boxers, top 3 boxers from lightweight right now. So what I'm going to sit here and say is, you have to stay away from the fence, obviously, because that's where Paddy Pimblett can get the clinch, where he can get the takedowns. You want to stay away from the clinch in general, unless you're like going for like trying to change levels, get a clinch uppercut. That's what you want to do. You want to also punish his boxing with heavy counters. His boxing is so bad. Like, realistically, his boxing, people are saying that he's like DDP. Like, he just has this, he has he just has an ugly style. It's not even about him having an ugly style. Paddy Pimblett's just not good at boxing. And he's beat opponents. Oh, we see them beat Michael Chandler, King Green, and then Tony Ferguson. Oh! Wait, hello? Did you hear yourself? It is Tony Ferguson, King Green, Jared Gordon. Jared Gordon doesn't even age well. King Green, Tony Ferguson, Michael Chandler. All of them were on losing streaks besides Bobby Green, who would beat a 40-something-year-old Jed Billet. I mean, like, his wins aren't all that great, and I think Justin Gaethje here will show levels. And the killer one right here, do not gas out trying to kill him in the first round, Justin. I saw you do this against Charles. You can still do it against Paddy, because Paddy will pick you apart if you do not stay calm. Hit him with big shots, which I'm sure will happen, because Paddy Pimblett does not have good boxing. And when Paddy Pimblett realizes that, he will shoot a takedown. But Justin's takedown defense is precise. His takedown defense is precise. He's really good takedown defense. And when Paddy Pimblett realizes that he's not even an offensive grappler, he grapples on defense. When he took down Bobby Green, Bobby Green tried to take down, and he got about a guillotine position. That's how he took him down. We don't see Paddy Pimblett shoot for takedowns like that. You know what I mean? So we're seeing a 68 takedown defense against a 28 takedown accuracy. So this fight is going to play out very interesting. You know what I mean? I don't think, like I said, I'll say this a million times, I do not think Justin Gaethje's grappling will, Paddy Pimblett's grappling will be as big as a factor in this fight like people are making it seem. Just how they made, Hamzat's cardio seem in that fight. It's not going to be that big of a difference. And Justin Gaethje does have grappling. He's that's how he got into MMA. He was a D1 All-American wrestler for what college did he go to? Well, Arizona, I believe. I don't know, but he's done some great things in the grappling scene, like wrestling. Like he's done some good things. I'm sick of the narrative that Justin Gaethje can't grapple, and I'm sick of the narrative that doesn't have a chin as well. He got knocked out by Max Holloway, but it's Max Holloway. Like what? So I am going to sit here and say, Justin Gaethje, you have to be on your best. You can't fight against him. Justin Gaethje looked really good when he fought Charles Oliveira. Then he gassed out in the first round because he was throwing way too much. I think Justin Gaethje, as more of a veteran now, with more experience, with better fights, he fought Max Holloway, and we've seen the improvements he had from the Max Holloway fight in this fight with Rafael Fiziev. We saw that, okay? And I think that he will apply what he learned from all of his losses to this fight, and this will make him as good as he's ever been. And my official pick for this fight, you can tell, I have Justin Gaethje moneyline, and if you're feeling lucky, Justin Gaethje by knockout or technical knockout, and I will look at the wager for that. So, the wager here tonight for, the wager for a Justin Gaethje knockout will be $10 pays $50. So that means $20 will pay $100. That's pretty good. But like I said, man, Paddy Pimblett shouldn't be here. And I'm not complaining about the title shot. Give Paddy Pimblett a title shot. I want to see what he can do. I'm not one of those MMA fans that are going to look at the title shot and be like, I'm not even going to watch this fight. He doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve it. It's not my job to analyze who deserves it. What I want to do as a fan is watch the fight and enjoy it because that's what we're supposed to do. And then analyze it and bet on it. Like, that's what you want to do, bro. And then maybe we can sit here and see what Paddy Pimblett can really do. I believe Justin Gaethje just has the experience. He just fought Max. He has a million times better resume. We're going to see what Justin Gaethje... Justin Gaethje is going to remind everybody who he is. He will. And the thing is, Justin Gaethje took so much time off. Like, he's really smart. His team at Grudge Training is really smart. Him and Trevor Whitman, they are really smart. Because after he got knocked out by Max Holloway, they made sure to take a lot of time off. He took 10 months off after losing to Max Holloway. He said, I need some time. Him and his team at Grudge Training advised him to do that. Trevor Whitman and them. They advised him to do that. And that's smart. Because the last thing you would want is Justin Gaethje to end up like Volkanovski, who fought Islam Makhachev short notice, 13 days notice. You can't fight a killer like that with 13 days notice. He fought Islam Makhachev with 13 days notice, got knocked out cold. And then what we've seen from that is that after, he fought 4 events after. So that's like 4 months of training, bro. It's not 4 months because you have the 6-week break. That's like 5 months of training. So what he did was it was 4 months. He fought in October, which was when Volkanovski fought in October, is when he fought Islam and got knocked out cold, head kick. It's a baseball bat hitting your head. It's rough. And then he goes and defends his featherweight championship 4 months later in February. You can't do that, especially when you're getting older in the sport. You cannot get knocked out and then fight again. And then what did we see with Volkanovski? He got knocked out cold. But what we've seen from that is that After he got knocked out cold, he got another shot at the featherweight championship a year later against Diego Lopez. He got knocked down in that fight, but his chin looked way better considering the fact that he took off time. Justin Gaethje took off 10 months against Justin Gaethje, and then took off another year against Rafa after fighting Rafael Fiziev and winning, and we saw the improvements in that fight with Rafael Fiziev. He took another 10 months off after that to fight this fight. They have a schedule that they're running right now, and it's very smart because now just Gaethje's chin lines up. He has learned from his losses and his wins, and Justin Gaethje is going to win this fight against Paddy Pimblett. I don't know how he's the underdog. It doesn't make any sense. Paddy Pimblett hasn't fought anybody experienced enough. He hasn't proved that he is good enough to be in this position, and that's why Justin Gaethje is coming to expose that. Thank you for watching this video. I'll be back.